Hey guys, this is Robert Quebeca, and thank you for your patience today. I really enjoyed having you in the class, and as I promised, I found the solution for our complication using the DSUM functions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the basics of how to fix it, and I'm going to tell you the mistake that I made, and it's just the silliest thing in the world. Go figure. And it's just a little nuance, really. So I will show you that, and I will show you how to use the function. In addition to that, I'm going to show you how to actually do more with the function. So I created something else for you to use so that you can learn how to navigate large portions of data using the DSUM functions. All right. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick. And let's see here. Which one am I using here? This one. Okay, and I don't know if you can still see me or not in the upper right corner. Hopefully you can. All right, so this is the spreadsheet that we were using earlier today. I haven't modified it or anything. So what I'm going to do first is, for data validation, we need to have an extra number of rows between our database or our data and our database criteria. So what I did is I entered a few rows here, and let me just do Control-Shift over here, Control-C, and paste this real quick. Okay, so now I've just duplicated our column headers at the top here. Okay, now one thing is that I didn't have enough space between the criteria, between the criteria and the data set. So what I'm doing here is I'm just showing you, I'm just going to paint this a little bit yellow here, that we just want to make sure that we have space between the criteria, our data set, and where we're going to put our formula over here, okay? So this is where I'm going to put my formula. The other thing with the formula, what we did is, what I did, is that I put the formula right next to the data set. And as soon as I did that, it won't work, because all of a sudden the data set considers the formula part of the data set, so the formula is no longer able to take any action on the data. All right, it's not able to use the criteria that we created. Okay. Having said that, what we're going to do is I'm going to go over here to quarter, and I'm going to enter an equal sign and Q1 and put that in quotation marks, and my A key on my MacBook does not work. Q1. So here's our criteria that we're going to use. All right. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to create the formula that we were creating before, and it's the exact same formula. And I'm going to tell you why it didn't work before. All right, I already gave you a couple reasons, because I didn't have enough space. We have to have at least one row and at least one column surrounding the data set. Okay, that's why I drew this yellow border here. All right, and number two is that when I created the formula, when I selected the criteria, I actually selected a blank field. When I select a blank field, then Excel, as part of the formula, is assuming that you want to have not only this criteria, but all of this criteria, which it assumed to be all of the data, which is why I was not getting the results that I want. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start typing in the function here, and it's equals DSUM and open parentheses, and as soon as I do open parentheses, I get the criteria here. So I need to select my database field. So I'm going to select from A6, and I'm going to cheat here a little bit and do that. And go here, type a comma. As soon as I type a comma, it's asking me for the field. So the field, and this is what I was doing correctly before, and the field that I was selecting is total sales. All right, so we want to select the field out of our field in the data set. And the field that we wanted to select is total sales. You can select any other field heading that you want depending on the criteria that you're trying to evaluate in your data set, okay? Now I'm going to insert another comma, and now I'm going to select the criteria. Before, I was selecting the entire group of cells. This is exactly what the book was telling me to do, and that's an error in the book, but all we need to do is select that. That's just it, just the field and the criteria of that field for the argument that we are using to evaluate our data, okay? So I'm going to close this parentheses, and I'm going to hit enter. All right, and now over here, let me go there. Let me put some dollar signs around this. Okay, so what you see now is that this is the sum of this entire data set for quarter one. And what I'm going to do here to help us just a little bit is I'm just going to, oops, come on, go away. Nope, nope, go away. There we go. All right. Sorry, my my screen sharing thing came in front of where I was trying to move my mouse. All right, I just wanted to freeze the panes so that as I scroll up and down, I can still see my column headers and things like that here. So let's go here. I want to change this instead of quarter one. What if I made this quarter two? All right, and now you can see my value is changing over here quite readily. And this function is now working exactly the way that it's supposed to. So, and again, I apologize for that earlier, but now that I understand what happened and why it happened, I'm sharing that with you. So before you go, I want to show you how we can actually do something a little bit more advanced that's actually very easy to do. And you'll find that it's actually a step towards using pivot tables, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some new functions down here, but what I'm also going to do is I'm also going to create some new criteria. And I already set it up on this other sheet here. I'm just going to flip over to this other sheet. And basically all I did is copy the product list. Sorry, I'm using my finger to point to, and you can't see my finger. I copied the product list from here. So these are all the products, the quarters. I copied the regions from here, on the left side under the region tab. And I copied all the salespeople. All right, so these are the salespeople here. All right, and I just did that manually. So now I'm going to do a couple things. One is that I'm going to create a range, just like we did earlier. I'm going to create a named range for each one of these categories, and these named ranges are going to have to be exactly like the, are going to have to be exactly like the column header here. So let me just do that real quick. So we have products. So I'm going to create the named range over here, products. Okay. Oops, before I messed that up. I need to go to my name manager here real quick. Sorry. And delete this and say okay. All right. And the reason I did that, sorry, is because I wanted to add an extra row, and I'll show you why I'm doing that in a minute. All right, so let me go back and rename this. So this is products. Back to here, I'm going to select this range and give it a name, and I'm going to name it exactly what the field is here, and it's called quarter. All right, then I'm going to go to the region, adding that extra blank cell, coming over here, naming this region. And then lastly, coming over here and naming this block of cells, salesperson. Okay, salesperson. It's very important that it's named exactly correctly. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple formulas. And let's see, I want to do this by set up my criteria. First, let's do it by regions. All right. And then I'm going to do another one by products alone, doing these alone. And then I'm going to come over here and do another one that's going to be region. Oops. Region. Going to be quarter. Going to be product. And sales person. Okay. And let's see here. I'm going to add one more in here just for grins and giggles. And I'm going to call it salesperson as well. Okay. Now that I've done this, all I'm going to do here is add some data validation. Okay, I'm going to add data validation. And I just realized I need to create just a little bit more space here real quick. Okay. So under region, I'm going to add data validation. And I go under my data tab and I say data validation. I'm not going to allow any value. I'm going to allow a list. And the list that I want to allow is products. I got to type an equal sign. Oh, this is one feature that's not going to work properly here. So I'm going to choose this. Press enter. All right, that's products. And, oh, see, I just caught myself. So let me delete that real quick. Clear data validation. Okay, I want this to be region, not product. There we go. All right. So I click this down arrow here. Now I have my region showing up. Now I'm going to do this again. So all I'm going to do is just click and drag this. Come on, let me click and drag. There we go. I'm going to add 3 regions like that. Okay. Now, under salesperson, I'm going to do the same thing. Do data validation, select list, select my source, and I am selecting salesperson, so I'm including that extra row, clicking OK. Under products, I'm going to go to data validation, select list, select, and click OK. And then under here, I'm just going to copy my data validation from here. So I got region, copy. I got my quarter. Let me insert my quarter data validation, any value. List is what we want. Quarter. And the extra space. Okay. Product. Do a copy, Command C. Paste that, and then salesperson, same thing, Control C, Control V. All right, so now I have my region, my quarter, my product. Is it product or products? It's products. All right, so that's going to cause a problem here if I'm not accurate with that. And then salesperson. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is use the same formula. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy a portion of this formula, which is that whole data set, so I don't have to keep reselecting it. And I'm just going to do it all the way up here to this first comma, because you notice here that it's selecting my entire data set. So I'm just going to do Control C. Now I'm going to go above. Oops. I'm going to go above here and go into my formula bar and paste that. Okay. Now I am going to select the criteria. I'm selecting the field that I want to create all my totals from. And that's going to be total sales here. I'm going to insert a comma. And now I'm going to select my criteria, and I have to select the column header and the 2 items. I think I selected 3 items below, 3 regions, okay? And then I close parentheses. And there we have it. There is a problem with this formula. DSUM, data, sales, data, all, data headers. Aha. So I have it twice. Okay. There we go. So what I did is I entered this field twice somehow. Sorry about that. And now I press enter. Now I'm getting a total. All right, let me just put some context to that here. All right. Now why am I getting that total? Because I haven't selected a region. Let me select the region. Southeast, Northeast, and Midwest. Okay? So now you noticed what happened. And this is where we ran into the problem earlier this afternoon. So what I did is I created 3 different criteria sets, all right, under this, within this formula. So without this information, if I leave one of those cells blank that I included in the formula, it's going to give me the total of all the sales for all the data. All right? And that's what happened. I had added that extra cell in the formula. And that's why we were not getting the totals that we wanted. All right? So here, and I did this on purpose here, of course, to show you why I created these 3 here. All right? Because without all 3 of these selected, you would not get the total. All right, so if I went back up here into this formula and I just said, well, I just want to see, maybe I just want to see 1 region. So let's just do P13, P14. All right, so we'll do 1 region. All right, so now these, I'm just going to delete these. So these no longer exist. All right. And now the formula is not referencing those other 2 cells, and now it's giving me the totals for each one of these regions, okay? Now, let me come down here to salesperson. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy part of this formula. Now I'm going to remember which part I copied this time. I'm going to come here, go to salesperson, copy that in. Oops. Hold on a second. I don't know why I did that. Go here. Paste that. I have my comma. I'm going to select these 2 cells. Press enter. Oh. I need a parentheses at the end of that. Sales data headers. Why is it doing this? Sales data headers, total sales. There we go. I understand now. Okay. So when I'm copying and pasting this formula, I wasn't copying the whole formula. All right. So now, here is, let me put some context to this again so we can see this better. So now I can choose salesperson, and I can select any one of these salespeople. All right, and as soon as I select that salesperson, now I've got that data. Now, mind you that you don't have to go through all this. You can just come up here and, you know, for here, I can just change my criteria. I can just type in equals, who's the salesperson? Let's do Watson because he's the first one in the list. And then, and I might, A key doesn't work. There we go. Enter that, right? So that's there. Then if I change this formula, instead of G1 and G2, you know, I change it here to D1 and D2, all right? Now I'm getting the total of all the sales for salesperson Watson, okay? So now, let me also show you this, because this is going to change our data. So if I do this, and this is what was not working earlier. So if I select this, and I actually select this criteria here, okay, and then I hit enter, okay, the difference is that there's a beginning and an end to the data. If I select an additional cell on the outside of this criteria or beginning of this criteria, okay, Excel is not going to consider the formula valid. All right, and that's what my other issue was today. This is a very, using the DSUM, okay, you can see a lot of similarities between this and a pivot table. However, you know, if you just want to do something quick without going through the process of doing a pivot table, you know, you can do something quickly to get the information that you want. All right. So lastly, I'm just going to do, I'm not going to do products because you get the point here. I'll just create this last formula real quick and go here, data headers, total sales, and do that. And then I want this, comma. And I'm selecting this as my criteria. All right, so now there's all my full total, right, of course. And now if I go here and I select Southeast, it's going to give me Southeast. If I select for quarter 2, and I select my product that I want to look at for cameras, and I want to see for Cooper. All right, so Cooper sold $6,308.90 worth of cameras in quarter 2 in the Southeast. Okay. So I wanted you to know that this is actually not as complicated as it was. It was just, you know, basically nothing more than a typo, just selecting that extra cell. Selecting those extra cells over here on the right-hand side, putting my formula too close to the data set. So hopefully this video here and just gives you the information that you need to be more skilled at using this function. I just wanted to say thank you again. Thank you for coming to class. And don't forget, if you ever want to retake this class, you have 1 year to retake it to enhance your skills and refresh your memory and things like that. So feel free to reach out and we can set that up for you. So thank you again. And if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out, and I look forward to talking to you soon or seeing you in class again soon. All right, take care. See ya. Bye.